Hallo zusammen und herzlich willkommen an alle Zuhörer unseres Webinars über Marokko. Wir freuen uns, dass ihr alle dabei seid und ich hoffe, ihr könnt uns hören. Mein Name ist Achim Simmer. Ich arbeite bei STR Destination Handling. Wir repräsentieren mehr als 30 Incoming-Agenturen auf den deutschen, österreichischen und Schweizer Markt. Und ich selbst bin verantwortlich für S-Tours bei uns und freuen uns, dass Managing Director Hisham Belhatwa heute uns ja, mitnimmt durch eine Reise durch Marokko und uns heute mit einer Präsentation inspirieren wird. Und ich bitte Sie, Ton und Video ausgeschaltet zu lassen und bei Fragen die Chatbox unten zu verwenden und wir gehen auf die Fragen gerne auch am Ende ein. Und sollten darüber hinaus Fragen sein, sind wir natürlich auch für Sie da. Und somit übergebe ich das Wort an Hisham und hoffe, dass Sie am Ende sehr viel mitnehmen können. So, Hisham, now it's your turn.
Sounds great. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. I know it's 1 o'clock in Germany. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to speak with you today and tell you a little bit more about our destination, about Morocco. And we also going to go a little bit deeper to look at different regions of Morocco and the things that we can do. But before we jump in there, I'd like to briefly introduce myself. My name is Hisham Belhatfa, as Ahlam had said, and I represent Istour DMC. We are a destination management company in Morocco. I am accompanied today with the team of Istour. I think I have about 4 or 5 people that will be connecting as well to this presentation. And the idea today is to go over a quick introduction of the company, to tell you a little bit more about who we are and what we do. And then we will go into Morocco and the different regions and the things that we can do together. I think that we know some of you, probably we have met some of you, and we have worked with some of you as well. But the idea today is to go a little bit deeper into the different regions, and hopefully we will be able to develop more products on regions that we have not touched with you before. So Istour is a destination management company, like I said. We have been around for more than 36, 37 years. We are one of the longest standing companies in the country. When we first started, we were mainly focused on incentive work. We were only doing incentives, congresses, events, things like that. Unfortunately, that business was no longer lucrative back in the 80s and early 90s for some different reasons. Some of them were tax regulations that had made that business very taxable at a high rate, which pushed us into looking into different areas of generating business and generating revenue. We have then started working on leisure. We have developed a leisure department that is now one of the most developed leisure departments in the country. We are one of the largest incoming tour operators in Morocco. We also still do congresses, events, and incentive. We are one of the largest congresses events organizers in Morocco. We have organized some of the largest events that have taken place in Morocco. We have the infrastructure, we have the know-how to do those large events, but we also kept the care and to do small events, to work with small events. This is exactly where we started years ago, and we love it and we enjoy doing it. We are also specialized in business travel. We also do business travel. Business travel, we represent American Express business travel in Morocco. So we work with all the multinationals that are based in Morocco to help with their travel needs. We are also the official company for the Moroccan Federation of Football. So anything that has to do with football, whether it's participation in the World Cup or the African Championship, or any congresses or events that are organized by FIFA or by the African Federation of Football, that we do that as well. When it comes to leisure, actually, and it's the reason we're here, we have representations pretty much all over the world, and we work with a lot of different countries. The first market, or our biggest market at this point, is the German market. We have been working with our friends at STR for almost 15 years now, and we have developed a working partnership, I would say, that has also developed into friendship, and we're proud to say that. And they've been representing us for more than almost 15 years now. Their job is to probably market our brand in Germany and act as Estu in Germany. We work together with them to come to Germany and meet a lot of different clients and also participate in different shows that we do in Germany. So when I come back now to the German market, it is our first market that allowed us to understand the German mentality, to work with German clients, to hopefully serve them better here in Estu than anywhere else. We have a staff at Estu of about 60 employees. We are based in Casablanca. That's where our headquarters are. And then we also have offices in Marrakesh and then another one in Agadir. About 8 years ago, we have invested in our own fleet for transportation. We have our own buses and minibuses. And we have now about 36, 37 vehicles between 48-seater buses, 15-seaters, and then 6-seaters. I would say 80% of our fleet is a really good brand. It's a Mercedes that we use for our clients. And all our vehicles actually abide by the international safety and security guidelines. So that was for the company. Now, as far, I don't know if you have any questions about the company before I jump into talking about Morocco. Okay, I'll assume if you have any questions, you will send them in chat box as Ahlam has explained first. We can't really talk about Morocco without touching really quickly on what's happening in the world right now with the coronavirus crisis. As far as Morocco is concerned, we have started early on, I would say mid-March, our lockdown, and we have stopped the entire country, which has been really bad for our economy. But at the same time, we were able to stop the virus at an early stage. We are still in confinement right now, believe it or not. We were one of the first ones to put it in place, and we would probably be one of the last ones to lift it. And I think we will be in confinement officially until June 10th, which is very handicapping for us because we are not used to just staying home and not going to work. So it's a little bit tough, especially for our industry. We understand the challenges, but we are proud to say today that the numbers are going down in Morocco, and the numbers of deaths has not really surpassed 200. It has a lot to do. I mean, there are different factors. Of course, we happen to be in Africa, and temperatures are a little bit different, and the behavior is different, and everything is different. So it's not only what was done by the government, but there are only some natural causes that prevented the death rates from going up. We are putting a lot of measures in place to welcome clients back. Our airports are getting ready for when they open the borders. Of course, the signage at the airport is being worked on right now to make sure it respects the social distancing rules that were recommended by the authorities. Whether we are around the passport areas or the luggage areas, our buses also will be like that. They are being disinfected as we speak. And we will be using large buses even for small groups to make sure that people sit away from each other. Restaurants the same way. All the restaurants all over the country, when they open, they will be respecting these rules, disinfection plus distances between tables. And then hotels as well will not be working or functioning at full capacity. They will only start with about 30% of their occupancy rate to begin with. And then the restaurants will be closed first in the hotels, and they will only be working with room service until things get better, probably by September, when we see that it is changing all over the world. Then we will probably follow the lead, and we will have distances between tables. All the monuments and the visits are being disinfected as we speak to make sure that we are ready when things get back on track. Okay. So now let's talk about Morocco. I think that a lot of you know Morocco. Morocco actually is a 13th century kingdom that happens to be in the north of Africa. It's on the tip top of Africa. here. Okay, with a population of about 36 million people, we have about 70% of young people. We have 70% that is aged 36 or less. Infrastructure is very modern. Our main cities are all connected by highways. When you arrive in the north of Morocco to Tangier, then from there you can go all over the country in highways. Of course, airports are in all big cities, and those also can be used, but it's a lot quicker. Morocco is not a very large country, so it's a lot quicker to go around in highways than to use airports. Tourism is a very important industry for the country. Country actually, again, it's a small country. We are about 36 million people, and the economy is based on two important factors, which are tourism and agriculture. So you know how much rain is important to us, and also guests that come to visit us. So these are two main important providers for Morocco. Origins of Moroccans are Berbers. A lot of us have Berber origins. And then, like I said, the population is 70% under 30 years old. The languages spoken in Morocco will be Arabic, which actually is Moroccan Arabic. It's a local dialect, and Berber that is spoken in all in major areas of the country, especially in the south. The north of Morocco, people speak Spanish also because that area was colonized by Spain at one point, just like the rest of the country was colonized by France, and therefore people also speak French. So the main languages will be the Moroccan Arabic, the local dialect, and then Berber plus French, and then plus Spanish for people that live in the north of Morocco. Geographically, we wanted to show you where Morocco is for those who don't know compared to Europe. And then you see that we are about 14 to 15 kilometers away from Spain. So in good days, you can probably see Spain from Morocco and vice versa when the weather is clear. And then there are small speedboats that connect the two countries. They go every 30 minutes, and the ride lasts about 35 minutes between the city of Tangier or other cities to the closest point of Spain. What you see here, this is the Rock of Gibraltar, right there. That is a UK colony right there. Okay, give you another idea. So as you can see, we have this whole area here with the Atlantic, and then we also have access to the Mediterranean, which gives us really an edge to have different products that we can offer our clients, whether they're interested by the Mediterranean or the areas over the Atlantic. As far as climate goes, we have a very Mediterranean climate. What that means is that summer is really not as hot as one would think. Of course, we are in Africa, but we don't get the heat as one would think. It's still very mild. Our summers are mild, except if you are in Marrakesh, of course, or in another city like Fez, which are two cities that are in the middle of the country, surrounded by mountains. And then you can probably experience the heat, which temperature can go up to 38 to even 40 degrees some days in summer. As far as the other parts of the country, the temperature is mild. It is anywhere between 25 and 28 degrees. Winters can be cold as well, and we have rainy winters. And I would say that 3 out of 4 years we experience the 4 seasons. Of course, with climate change lately, we haven't seen that, but we still get our winters and our summers separate, and we feel it. This is a map of Morocco to give you an idea about where everything is. This is exactly what you had saw earlier compared to where Europe is. So it starts with Tangier in the north with some surrounding cities, and then the rest of the country is exactly how you see it here. Rabat being it's right here being the actual capital of Morocco. Casablanca being the largest city in Morocco, in the economic capital of Morocco. Marrakesh, right here, and then Ouarzazate, where all the tours that we do in south start, between Marrakesh and Ouarzazate. Agadir is right here as well. And then, of course, the southern part of Morocco that we are not using now for tours. We will start talking about Casablanca first. Actually, before we do that, I would like to give you an idea about the different tours that we are using. And basically, a lot of them start in Casablanca or Marrakesh. Both cities, actually, including Agadir as well, they're really well connected to Germany with flights. So we have, whether it's the local carrier Royal Morocco or Lufthansa, they fly to Agadir and Marrakesh. And then right before the pandemic started, the coronavirus started, I was talking to Lufthansa, the Lufthansa manager here in Morocco, and he had assured me that by June of this year, Lufthansa was planning on having a second flight to Morocco and at a decent time because the flight now gets to Morocco at about midnight and leaves Morocco at 2 in the morning. And they were thinking about adding another flight this year that will be getting to Morocco at a decent time, I think at about 12 p.m. and then leaving Morocco at about 2 p.m., which would have been phenomenal. Unfortunately, with what's happening right now, they are completely thinking about going. I mean, they are only going to operate 50% of their flights all over the world until the end of this year. So basically, what I was saying is flights get to Casablanca or Marrakesh, and that's where they start for example, the imperial city tours, which is imperial cities are. I would say they're capitals. They used to be capitals of Morocco to different reigning royal families that reigned over Morocco. Morocco went through different phases in different centuries, where every century probably we had a royal family that reigned over Morocco, and they had taken a city to be their capital, and that capital has become now an imperial city. The difference between an imperial city and a regular city is that we still have the old city now in those imperial cities. City like Marrakesh, for example, I'll give you an example of Marrakesh. We still have the old town that is surrounded by a wall, and the wall has different entrances, and those entrances they call bab, and each one of them has a name. And then another city or a model city was developed right outside of there, where people can stay also if they want to, if they don't want to stay inside the old city. So that's what defines an imperial city. And then also, of course, when we talk about the old city, you have all the souks and all the places and all the markets. Fez will be the same way, Meknes also, El Jadida, and Rabat. So basically, when clients arrive to Casablanca, that's where they start their tours. Same thing when they get to Marrakesh, they will start their tour. Some clients would like to stay and extend their stay, and then I don't know if somebody had a question and said something.
No, so far no questions, Hisham.
Okay, good. And then some clients wish to extend their stay and probably do even the south of the country. And some clients now also the north. And we will be talking about the north today because this is an area that is being developed that we are using and making sure that clients discover it as well. So when we talk about Casablanca, Casablanca is the largest city in Morocco. It's one of the largest cities in Africa. Casablanca is more than 12 centuries old. Casablanca actually has seen so many things, especially in the 21st century, with I would say the Germans, with the Allies after World War II. Casablanca is where the peace treaty was signed between Eisenhower and Churchill also. What you see in the background there is a mosque. It's actually the largest mosque in the world after the one that is in Saudi Arabia. It's a mosque that is built over the water. You can't see now, but right here there is actually, you see the ocean. That's the Atlantic right there. Casablanca is 6 million people. It's the economic capital of Morocco. There are plenty of hotels and plenty of things to do in Casablanca, but at the same time, when clients arrive here, we try to have them spend one night in Casablanca, probably do a quick visit before they go about their days. Casablanca is very hectic, just like any other capital in the world. Businesses all over the place, a lot of different representations are here in Casablanca. The reason behind that is a lot of different multinationals, a lot of different companies now all over the world. They make Morocco as their hub for Africa, and they bring their companies here to Casablanca. The country has played a big role into giving them some exoneration for taxes to allow them to bring their business here, as long as they make sure they employ local workforce, local workers. Moroccans work for them, so to make sure that we also help with the unemployment. So these companies that are here make the city also very, very buzzy and very hectic. Clients arrive. The airport is about 45 minutes from downtown. We have a lot of different hotel chains in Morocco, over especially in Casablanca. A lot of luxury five-star hotels. And then we have also nice restaurants that clients get to experience. Some of those restaurants that we use would be a restaurant called Rick's Cafe. Rick's Cafe is the cafe that was used in the movie Casablanca. And then it still exists right now, even though the film was not filmed in Casablanca. I don't know if a lot of people knew that, but it's just a replica of what was done. So the restaurant still exists and it's still operating, and clients enjoy dinner or lunch there, overlooking the ocean. We also schedule a tour in the old town of Casablanca before clients head to their next stop, which will be Rabat. So, an old town, and this is what you saw in this first picture. This part here is the old city of Casablanca, and then you move to the new part that was built afterwards. The mosque, like I said earlier, is built over the water, and then the different avenues, and you see how city is busy, just like any other capital in the world. Rabat. Rabat actually is the second stop when clients arrive to Casablanca. Rabat is the actual capital of Morocco, is where the royal family lives, and it is administrative. All the ministries are there. Same concept as Casablanca, of course. It's the old town, old city with walls that are still built from years and years ago. And the city actually has gone through, I would say, process of modernization lately, where a lot of different things were built to make the city even more modern than what it used to be. Rabat is a very calm city, very administrative. A lot of embassies are there, a lot of consulates are there. And you can, when you get to Rabat, you can feel the administrative air in it. The mausoleum, where some of the royal member families are buried, and everything that is built of this structure tries to showcase the Moroccan handicraft, Moroccan art. You can see the walls inside here. You can see the doors, how they're built, and all of this is handmade. I mean, you gotta see when people are working on these things. You would see how they're probably hundreds of them spending hours during the day working on each tile here by hand. Our next stop will be Marrakesh. Marrakesh actually is the city that a lot of people know in Morocco. Marrakesh has a reputation of being a city where a lot of stars, a lot of people would like to come and spend their vacation. What you see in front of you is the square of Jamal Fna, or the place of Jamal Fna. Marrakesh actually was designed to welcome people from all over the world. When you are in Marrakesh, sometimes you would think that you are probably in some international zone because people come from all over the world to experience the city. Marrakesh now used to be connected through Casablanca airport, but Marrakesh now actually is connected to all major European airports, which made things a lot easier for connections. I mean, going to Marrakesh from Casablanca airport is still a good option because it's only an hour and a half to 2 hours away in the highway, but it makes things a lot easier when you can connect to Marrakesh directly by plane. Same concept as the two other cities we talked about. So you can see here the walls that are surrounding the old city with different doors that give you access to the old city. And then, of course, the new city that is built outside of that. What you see here is the major place, or actually famous place, that is known all over the world. This place here was used years ago by locals to come in the afternoon. Why afternoon? Because it's hot all day long in Marrakesh, especially in summer. So people or locals don't go out during the day. They wait till the sun goes down to go out. And then when they go out, you see these lights that are here. These lights are all street food vendors and these guys sell food all over all day long. And they also have people that come and tell stories. We have a lot of storytellers. You have a lot of fortune tellers. You have women that do henna in other people's hands. You have snake charmers. You have people that bring monkeys and they dance. And it is a very buzzing place. When you walk in there, I mean, you're amazed by the sounds. Music is playing everywhere because these storytellers, between their stories, they take a break and they play music. Same thing for the fortune tellers. And the balcony here that you see where these girls are sitting, these are coffees or cafes that are surrounding the place where people sit and enjoy. If they want to get out of this noise, they want to sit up top, they get a table, get something to drink, and they watch everything from above and or take pictures if they would like to. These are different monuments in Marrakesh. The minaret that you see here is the minaret of the mosque called Kutubiyya that overlooks the place of Jam al-Fna, where we just were. This here is Minara. This actually used to be a residence for one of the kings that ruled over Morocco and was based in Marrakesh. And these are walls that are surrounding the city. This is just part of it. A picture was taken. Still with the different monuments, and again, same concept of Moroccan handicraft that is being showcased everywhere we go. What you see here is the Jardin Majorel, which is Majorel Gardens. These are gardens that were designed and launched by the French designer Yves Saint Laurent. And we also schedule it as a visit. Clients like to go in and see the different plants. And of course, the different contrast of colors that are just beautiful. You see the blue sky and this blue here that you see in some buildings. It's called actually Marrakesh blue. That's what they call it. Okay. When Marrakesh finishes, actually, we would like to talk to you also about Essaouira. Essaouira is a city that is about 2 hours away from Marrakesh. Essaouira is a city that is in the coast of Morocco. It's on the Atlantic coast. We don't schedule it as an imperial city because it is not an imperial city, but just a city visit when sometimes clients would like to do a day trip or would like to do something different or would like to just be on the ocean without going to Agadir. They just want to go to Essaouira. Essaouira is a small city. It has a small downtown area, a small market, and it's really well known for its fish because it's like a small fish town where people go out in their traditional boats to bring fish from the ocean. They don't go very far away. I mean, as their location is still very small, and they bring fish that people can enjoy on the coast. Here. Essaouira, just to stay in Essaouira for a couple more minutes, we have also a few hotels in Essaouira. We have actually some international name hotels. I mean, I can think of Accor, the French brand that is there with about 2 hotels. And then we also have a lot of beautiful guest homes, I would say, in the old city, in the old town, that are really nice, where people would like to stay and experience the real life of people that live in Essaouira. These guest houses are downtown. They are inside the old Medina. So easy access, and then you get to experience the local foods. You get to experience everything that is very proper to that part of Morocco. Our next move would be Fez. Fez actually is the oldest city in Morocco. Um, Fez is what Morocco used to be called Fez at one point because Fez was the city that is known all over the world. Um, in fact, in still some Turkish books right now, they still refer to Morocco as Fez. And we also call the red hat that a lot of people from this region wear, they call it the Fez as a reference to the city of Fez. The picture that you see here, and I think you see some holes in the background, these are actually the tanneries where they bring leather to give it different colors in there. So they put it inside those basins, and they add the colors to it, and they go through a process of changing colors. You also see in the background a minaret with a mausoleum here. That is actually a mosque and a university and a library. The university and the library, they were built in 642 by a woman called Fatima al-Tihriya. She is the one that built those two premises. And actually, the oldest university and library in the world. And the most amazing thing is today we are in 2020 and they are still operating. There are still people coming from different Arab countries to that university, and the library is still operating with books that are as old as when the university was or the library was launched. And all of these things happen to be in an area called the Old Medina. The Old Medina of Fez is one of the largest Old Medinas in the world. It is very, very, very big. In fact, even Moroccans need probably tour guides sometimes to go in and know where they are. It has different entrances, different doors, and once you go in there, you are definitely lost if you are by yourself. So you definitely need a tour guide that will guide you and show you the more important things and the things to see when you're in there. The smells are different when you are inside. You go from one neighborhood to the other, and there are still people living in there. Colors are different. The layouts of shops is different. Everything has a smell. Everything has a strong smell that will remind you of something that you probably have known in the future, in the past. The nice thing also about the Old Medina is there are still guest houses inside for people who don't want to leave the Old Medina, who want to experience exactly what the Old Medina is about, and then go to different as opposed to going outside of the Old Medina to a different hotel. There are a lot of restaurants that we also use that are in the Old Medina. And the nice thing is you can be walking in an old street in the Old Medina and not knowing where you are. And then you see a door, you go in that door and you find a beautiful riad with the nice fountain in the middle with beautiful flowers and plants all over the place. And then of course a restaurant, and it's a lot calmer inside. I mean, you don't hear the noise that you would hear when you were outside. And even the temperature is lower. These homes actually, just like the south of Spain when you are in Sevilla, it's the same concept because those homes were built by the Arabs at one point and Moroccans in particular. So the homes are the same concept. They were built in a way to have a fountain in the middle when you walk into a house, and I'm talking about riads. And those fountains were meant to keep things cool because the temperature is really high and it's very hot when you're inside. So they make sure that they built those fountains to keep water running. When water runs, apparently it brings the temperature down. So these are some of the monuments that you will find in Fez. And this is picture taken from a mountain that's overlooking the city of Fez. So you can see skyline. You can see actually what Fez looks at nighttime, especially the Old Medina. This part here is the Old Medina. And the different doors that you will go through when you are walking in the city of Fez. I mean, you can be walking and then just see doors like this everywhere. Meknes is a city not far from Fez. Meknes is a city that's only about 60 kilometers from Fez. It's actually a quick stop that's part of our Imperial City Tour. Meknes used to be a capital of one of the reigning families that has also reigned over Morocco. Same concept. I mean, it's a quick stop. We don't spend a lot of time here. Really rarely where we even spend the night unless clients insist that we don't spend the night in Fez. It's just a stop to show a few things. Like you can see here, these are some Roman remains right outside of Meknes, about 10 kilometers away. We stop on the way, Volubilis, where people stop and take pictures. Tangier. Tangier is a city that's on the tip top of Morocco. It's actually the northernmost point in Africa. When you are in Tangier, there is a point where you can even see the Mediterranean meet the Atlantic. Tangier is an international city. Tangier actually used to be a city that international, even for Moroccans, like even for Moroccans to go in there, they needed a passport or a visa. It was internationally known for having a lot of different movie makers and a lot of different book writers that would come. And because the city is so calm and it really offers a lot of serenity, people would love to come in there and sit by the water in a cafe and just write or think or meditate. And it's again it has an old Medina, an old city with a new one that was developed around it. Tangier is in the north, which allows it to be in connection with the rest of the world, especially with Europe. In Tangier, you can go spend the day in Spain and then come back in the afternoon. If you take the boat, even in your car, you can actually get your car in the boat and then go for about 35 minutes. You'll get to Spain, you'll get to Tarifa, and then you can spend your day in Malaga, and then come back in the afternoon to spend your night in Tangier. This is a view um, from actually it's not even a mountain. It's just um, I would say it's just a walkway that overlooks the port of Spain, and you see these boats here. Those are the boats that go to Spain and then come back. Uh, this part here that you see on the left, it's like a lighthouse. This is actually in the corner of the where the Mediterranean meets the Atlantic, where you see the two waters meet, and that's a lighthouse that was used years ago, and it's still actually in use right now, to let all the commercial boats know that you are approaching a border. Ouarzazate is a city south of Marrakesh, exactly where I showed you earlier in the map. Ouarzazate, we call it also the door to the desert. Ouarzazate actually is a city that is used, or has been used lately by a lot of movie makers. These people, they come to Morocco to make their movies. They call it like the second Hollywood, because they built a movie set in Ouarzazate to allow a lot of movie makers to make their movies as if they were in different parts of the world. Ouarzazate actually has a lot of homes that like this that you see in the picture, and these homes were used years ago to protect the families that live inside, or protect the tribes that live inside. And this is why you see these um, towers in every corner, and those towers, or they call them the watchtowers. So probably every night, someone spends the night in there to make sure that there are no invaders that will come and invade the people that live inside. The Ouarzazate also is home to a lot of homes like this, a lot of sites that are part of the UNESCO heritage right now, like Qalat Ain bin Haddo that we're going to see also in a different picture. When we are in Marrakesh and people would like to extend to the south, or we do just south tours, this is actually a really nice area that we use to broadcast, or to broadcast what showcase what Morocco has to offer in the south of Morocco. These are actually some pictures that you see of the studios that I talked about for movie making. And these are just some raw pictures that were taken of different sites that can be visited when you are in Ouarzazate. Ouarzazate itself is a city. It has few hotels that can be used. But the nice thing about Ouarzazate is you can just travel about an hour away and be in the desert and experience other things. It's a natural beauty. You see a lot of green areas around, which is very strange because you are in a desert, but there is water everywhere. Locals actually tell us that about 15 to 20 years ago, they used to dig in the sand about 1 meter and find water. Now it's no longer the case, but there is still water, and this is why you see a lot of green everywhere. I mean, there is no water shortage in the desert, which is amazing. And then from Ouarzazate, we get to from Ouarzazate, we get to the big south of Morocco. Ouarzazate actually is the door to the desert, which allows us to get to the actual desert, where there are few hotels, but we also use what we call bivouacs. We use tents that are built in the middle of the desert. Different things that can be done when you are in the big south would be like camel rides. These are actual pictures, and as you can see, you can do the camel ride either at sunrise or sunset. And then when you finish and come back, you can spend the night in the desert instead of going to a hotel. And I will be showing you later bivouacs and what they look like, but this is just to give you a glimpse. This is what we call the kasbahs. They're also around Ouarzazate and in different areas, the surrounding areas of Ouarzazate. Kasbahs are old homes where a lot of families live, and they are surrounded by these towers. Like I explained to you earlier, they were to keep invaders from coming in. And this is actually what they look like. If you were to step back, you'll get pictures like this. Excuse me. Oases with water running even in the middle of the desert. Landscape is amazing, and it's all done by road. I mean, when you are in Marrakesh, we drive to all these places by buses or mini buses, depending on the size of the group. So the landscape is amazing, and we do stop in the middle of the road if people want to take pictures and take advantage of what's out there. But it's pretty amazing. That's what the roads look like. These are the bivouacs that we had talked about earlier, and they are actual tents that are just planted in the middle of the desert. And these tents are luxury tents. I mean, they can be as luxurious as you want them, or as basic as you want them, depending on everyone's budget, really. But they have all the amenities that one needs: comfortable beds, clean bathrooms with showers and hot water, and lights and everything they would need. There is even some entertainment at nighttime. So when people do their camera rides or they're just hanging out by the tent in the desert, taking pictures, they can also get in one of these common tents for dinner. And then we bring entertainment to make sure clients have a good time before they go to bed. Different troops from the Moroccan folklore that come and entertain guests at nighttime. And this is another picture of what a bivouac looks like. So this is here the main tent where food is served, and of course individual tents where people go and spend their nights to have some privacy as well. Moroccan handicraft is actually really well known. Also, we use different colors. These are things that you will find in every market that we will go to. Each city has their different touch on the handicraft that we do, or especially Marrakesh and Fez. If you go to Marrakesh, you will find handicraft in Marrakesh that is really proper to that region, whether it's rugs or lamps or different, even the colors that they use. And then when you go to Fez, you'll find something different also. You'll find something like pottery, or you find people that work on their hand on designs. These designs are on trays. This guy actually is designing a tray here. Food is also one of the highlights that we are proud to offer in Morocco. We are known for having the tagines. Tagine actually is the container. You see here where the food is served. The food is based on all the things that probably you can think of. Mostly it's beef and chicken, and it is always cooked in a stew with the vegetable and presented in a tagine like this. It is cooked the basic way. We use different spices, nothing really strong. I mean, just the main spices. But when you taste the food, you can taste every spice, and you can taste every aroma and everything that you eat. The food is very diversified in Morocco. We use a lot of vegetables. We use a lot of appetizers. You can probably have a meal with 4 or 5 different appetizers in very small portions, just to get a taste of everything else. Then you get to the main meal. This is the layout of the spices when you are in the market. And this is the layout of tagine, what it looks like when it's actually cooked. Like I said, it's a stew. And then you can mix it with rice. You can mix it with, you can eat it with bread, or you can eat it with anything you want. And of course, there are, we still offer all the international foods that people would like to have, because quite frankly, if you are in Morocco for about a week on tour, having Moroccan food every day, twice a day is really not fun, I can imagine. So if you would like to break that and have something else, all kind of international restaurants are available, and every restaurant offers international foods. Mint tea is a big part of the culture and big part of what we do. It's very cultural for us to offer mint tea everywhere we go. So pretty much any household you're going to go to, restaurant or cafe, first thing before we start talking, we will offer you mint tea. It is served with the actual. You can see here mint leaves, and mint tea is inside the spot, and it's served in the spot here. Transportation, I'd like to give you a quick idea about our fleet. These are our buses. This is what they look like. And these are the buses that we use for transportation of all our clients. 48 seaters, these buses are. And then we have two smaller ones that are 38 seaters. We have the 15 seaters for smaller groups. And then 6 seaters if we have an even smaller group that just needs, it's for families and couples and things like that. And I think that brings us to the end. And thanks again for listening to me and for giving me this opportunity to tell you more about the country. And I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you so much, Hisham, for all these informations and the nice pictures. Ja, vielen Dank fürs Zuhören. Soweit ich sehe, sind gerade keine Fragen eingetroffen. Von daher würde ich dann so langsam abschließen. Sollten Sie die eine oder andere Frage doch noch haben, würden wir uns sehr freuen, wenn Sie auf uns zukommen jederzeit, ob es um Programmvorschläge oder weitere Inspirationen geht. Genau, und außerdem würden wir uns auch freuen, wenn Sie die nächsten Wochen uns durch unsere Webinarreihe begleiten würden, die wöchentlich stattfinden und sich da auch mitnehmen und Inspirationen holen. Ja, ich sehe, es sind keine Fragen, wie gesagt, da. Sollte Ihnen was noch einfallen, sehr gerne. Ansonsten bedanken wir uns für die Teilnahme. And yes, Hisham, so far no questions. But I'm sure we will have in the next days maybe questions. And thank you so much.
No problem. And if anyone thinks of any questions, of course they can come to you, and then or you can share my my email address, and I will be more than happy to answer them for you or to follow up calls or follow up answers later.
Right. Okay, dann wünsche ich Ihnen noch einen schönen Feiertag morgen und vielen Dank.